Hi everyone, this is Susie from Minnesota, Zone 4. And it's about mid-July and I thought I'd take you for a tour of my garden, see what's blooming. And I do apologize right now just because I know it's windy and the sound quality won't be the best, but I think this is the only time I'm going to be able to get this video in. They're talking storms tomorrow and I'd like to get that before the storms. My hydrangeas are looking amazing. I'm hoping these thunderstorms actually bring quite an amount of rain. Not so much wind and hail, but that's why I want to get this video done. So I'm going to try and talk a little bit louder so hopefully it doesn't sound like I'm screaming. And Nicotiana looks really great. It actually looks even better at night, so maybe one of these days I can film a little bit at night so you can see the color better. This one is just, this was the first one to bloom. This looks fantastic. And they all start off white and then they start turning to a pink and then kind of a rosy mauve. And the earwigs do not bug these, so that's a plus. And hummingbirds love them. I still haven't seen the hummingbird moth back, so that's too bad. I know this one is Little Lime, and this one is usually the last one to bloom. It's going to be a hot one today. It already is about 90 degrees out here, high humidity, high dew point, feels like the tropics. My bloomering lilac is starting again. It won't be as full as in springtime, but it'll be a few here and there. Every now and then I'll smell some lilac. No complaints. Shrubs look really good. We have probably had maybe about an inch of rain in the last 3 weeks or so. It's been very dry. I've been watering as much as I can. Probably not as much as I should be. Last year I didn't have to water anything at all. And then the purple Nicotiana. Again, this looks so much better at nighttime. Maybe I'll have to do a quick video just on this. And the scent on the purple is really nice. My dahlia bed is looking a little bit better. I still have a lot of earwig damage. I've been kind of holding off on the powder. I think I have a few blooms here and there. I have done like little tuna containers. My first one was with beer. Didn't do much. Next one was with some dish soap, didn't do much, and so these now have oil in them. And I see a few in there, so I'm just gonna keep them in. Hopefully, might take them out today just because of the rain coming. Fingers crossed. So they don't look horrible. The leaves do. Hopefully it doesn't affect the blooms. I have them tied up too. Some are smaller than others. The stalks are amazing on some. I don't know if you can look at that. And if I can put my that is unreal how they start off from just a little tuber into something that big. And others are a little smaller. This is a bigger stalk. Sometimes that's a bad thing because they tend to break a lot easier. This is my cupcake zucchini. Look at all the blossoms in there. I can't wait. And then I think, if I can get in there. I don't know if you can see it. Don't want to disturb him too much. He's busy. Oops. No, go back. So yeah, so I hope I get some of those. It'll be the first year I think this is a new variety. Can't wait to see what they taste like. Trying to figure out, I'll go this way and then I'll come back around. My tomatoes are looking really good. Getting nice and tall, lots of blossoms. Every now and then I come by and I just tap my cages. I heard that's good. I have tomatoes on. My tomato berries. Love the tomato berries. This is my lemon tree, looking pretty good. Got a nice little lemon on there and some smaller ones. I'm glad the earwigs are leaving this alone too. I've just had lots of issues with earwigs. They're kind of grossing me out now. When I come out to potty my dogs at night, they're just around the door frame and just afraid they're going to fall on my head. This is a tall, I thought this was supposed to be shorter. I tried to choose dwarf varieties. From behind here, if you can see in here, there's a better view, not in the sun. This is one of my pepper plants. It's supposed to be purple. This one is doing amazing. So I'm happy. Usually I don't have a whole lot of luck with peppers. I don't know why. My Brussels sprouts. I know I've been checking for the cabbage worms or whatever they are. I've had a few, but first year for growing Brussels sprouts. So we'll see what happens. I'm not sure when I'm supposed to start busting off these lower leaves. My rhubarb looks amazing. Again, I've been having to water this something fierce. So I cannot wait. Well, I have to wait this year, but next year I can't make any promises. My Joe pieweed, that looks amazing. I would say it's got to be getting close to 5 feet tall. About 4.5 right now. My sweet summer love clematis. Unfortunately, I think the earwigs like this too because some of the blossoms have been eaten, but there are a ton on. And this is the clematis that I cut all the way back to the ground just because all the old growth had died. I think I might do that every year. That just looks amazing. And this clematis is hanging in there. So, been good. My honeysuckle finally climbed over here. Just gonna leave it. I'm hoping at some point it can kind of wrap around here and hold this together. I had some twine and then it busted off. But it's holding. Oh yeah, and then this clematis, the one that had died back, all the old, and then I pruned. I got a blossom. I did not know that could happen. Look at this. And I think this is earwig. I don't. Or it could just be the weather too, with it being so dry, so inconsistent. So, not sure, but I have blossoms. Yay. My milkweed looks great. A little tall, but I saw a bunch of monarchs yesterday. And they were landing everywhere, so I'm so happy to see them. I've been looking at the leaves to see if I can see any worms. Nothing yet. Bee balm still looks good. Kind of coming to an end here, but I hope the sound quality isn't so bad. I just, but on a day like it's supposed to be almost mid-90s today. I will take the wind. Thought I saw a bee. I cleaned up a lot of my hostas. I've left some flower heads, but for the most part I trim them all off if I can. I leave some depending on how they look. It brings in the hummingbirds too, but I have so many hostas, all you see are flower heads, and then you don't see the leaves. And I grow hostas for the foliage. My stilbea is done back here. Still kind of pretty. I always leave the seed heads. I still think it's attractive. I have some leaf curlage on here, and that's just, it needs some water, preferably rain. Hand watering everything is one thing, but definitely doesn't take the place of rain. And this is Queen of the Prairie Filipendula. And there is a nice light flowery scent with these. I love this. They're finally blooming. This also attracts like the little tiny bees and whatnot, ants. They're hot, they're wilting a little bit. This loves the water, kind of like an astilbe. So we'll see what happens. Like I said, I've been trying to keep up with watering as much as I can, but it takes a long time. I have a little Filipendula. I planted this last year. This has variegated foliage. I think that's really neat. Has a little white flower head. Definitely will get bigger. And so we'll see what happens next year. Honeysuckle vine is absolutely loving this here. Haven't seen any blooms on this yet, but I'm fine with the foliage too. Alright, so we're going to go back this way. Wind turbine is going to town. Let's see, I'm trying to see if you can see. Right here. You'll start seeing some pink come on the pagoda dogwood. That's kind of what happens in the fall, is it starts turning that pinky color. It's really pretty. I'm going to back up. I love this hosta, the blue. Really the only one I have so far. I should check into some more blue varieties. And if this goes in the sun, when this was not all established and the sun beat down here a little bit harder, this turned green. So definitely your blue varieties, don't give them sun. And then we'll go back to the Joe Pye weed here. Oh, I think I have a flower head forming. Woohoo! But I think the earwigs have been bothering this too. On the plus side, I don't have aphids, and I know earwigs control the aphids, so I'm not sure what would be better, honestly. Kind of do this back here, just a shot. Oh, I was going to show you. One year I planted morning glories. And was it the Grandpa Ott? I think that, something close like that. Well, I did not know that it reseeded, so I've been pulling morning glories out all over. It's been a battle for the past 5 years. So I would say if you're going to plant that in an area where you don't care that it takes over. So I keep pulling. There's one here. It's just an aggressive grower. Every now and then it does find its way up here, and I get purple flowers. And I do leave it just depending where it goes to. Sometimes it starts wrapping around my tomatoes, and it's not okay. These are my zinnias. I have some blooms on them. They had flopped over. So I just have these little curly twig things from my winter arrangements that I didn't have any twigs anywhere else. And of course I was kind of stupid when what was it, the red twig? I should have saved that because that would have been good for this too. But I burnt it. But yeah, I used this to stake it up so they didn't flop. I thought the heads were going to get bigger. I mean, there are some heads. Oops, I better back up. There is. Ooh, is right by me. But another place where I went to, the heads on them are like almost dahlia size. So I'm going to have to look into that next year. But, wow, I love this. Like I said, first year for planting zinnias, and the butterflies absolutely love this too. This one over here, if I can without bugging. I think that is so cool. And with my camera here, I can really zoom in. Can I get in closer? All right, I better back up. I do not want to get stung with this video. This is a nice bright pink. And then my smaller varieties are not blooming yet. These are supposed to be that size, and I put the larger ones in the middle. Doesn't help that my peas fell over either. But that's okay. I better go a different way. I will be brushing against that bee. I cannot wait to see what this sunflower looks like. And oh, sorry, I'm kind of sidetracked here. And this, I had planted some other ones, but they just all... I think I'll leave them, see what they do. I know they're kind of going all wonky, but not all flowers grow up right. Sometimes it just work with what you have. Thank God for this pool today. I will be taking a dip in it. Okay. My nasturtiums are going to town here. You can see that the earwigs have chewed off, and I know they're earwigs because I had pulled all my lettuce from in here, and the earwigs were just all on the bottom. They don't seem to eat the lettuce leaves. They just kind of hunker down. They like that wet, shady, so I'm sure I disturbed their little home. But, so no, the nasturtiums like this here, and I know they have been eating my kohlrabi. Just leaving it, see what happens. I know it's pretty shady in here, but I might plant another crop a little bit later. I have a bunch of beans on, more so over here. You might be able to see it. But I will be picking beans today. Can't wait. I have a bunch of peas on. They did really good this year. I think I'm going to have to find a bigger trellis system. I normally don't have that great of luck with peas, so it kind of surprised me. I'm like, oh, right here. Nice old bean. And they look at that. Beans, beans, and more beans. Cannot wait. Love them. My cucumbers are looking pretty good. They had a late start just because I had to replant. I don't know if I have any blossoms on here. Just have to remember to pay attention to the camera. Sometimes I forget, and then I'm looking one way and my camera's pointing another way. And then back here is my Malabar spinach. It's finally starting to get some height, you know, amongst all of these nasturtiums, and I have a cucumber going in there. I have more, whoops, right there. So we'll see what happens. I've been watering this stuff. You can see, I don't know what would cause that kind of coloring on the cucumber leaf. Irregular watering, it's my only thought. I was thinking about planting something in here, but I think I'm just going to leave it be, just because then my cucumbers can kind of crawl over that way. See the coloring on that? I've been fertilizing it. So this is my first blossom. Should get on the other side to see if it's a male or a female. I will be doing a lot of hand pollinating this year, because last year, for as many flowers as I had, I did not have, I had a good amount of cucumbers, but not as many as I should have. And then this is just a regular zucchini. And finally, my first flowers are forming. Looks like those are all male. Oh, I have some females down there, right there. Again, I'll be hand pollinating this too. You saw some bees in the other one, but sometimes I think these leaves get so big they can't find the flowers. All right, let's see here. A male, that's what it is. All right, no female, oh, there's, where was it? There's a female right there, so I'll have to keep on that once that flower opens. Okay, so my liatris is blooming. I thought I planted a white one because that is what the tag said. So tags got messed up and I got a purple. And I don't know how tall this is going to get because the white one was supposed to get really tall. So the purple's pretty. It's really pretty, so I'm not complaining. Love my Shasta daisy. I'm just not sure what I want to do right now, if I should just plant them. I'm having to water these every day. They're just sitting in pots back here until I get to that, and then the little bee balm there. But you can see on my Baptisia, look at all of those seed pods. Is that not, I've never had them that, I mean, maybe 5. I leave them because then they'll start turning kind of a purple-black color. And then I just pop them over and I spread the seeds. I haven't had any luck, but my Stargazer Oriental Lily, that will probably be blooming in about, I would say, 2 weeks. Looks really good. Tiger Eye Sumac kind of works nicely because it's acting as a stake to hold it up. And I have more back here. Everything got a little bit lush, especially that Tiger Eye Sumac. Hardy Hibiscus. I love the color of that foliage. So far it's keeping it, so it must be getting a good amount of sun. Mock Orange just looks healthy. Let's put on some growth. Keeping these well watered. So I'm still wondering if I should just dig up the chives there and plant at least a little bee balm there for the time being. I always have chives grown everywhere that I can replant. These daylilies are just forming their heads. A little past it, so I can't wait to show you. I'm not even sure what color they're going to be, so I'll be surprised myself. And then there's some over here. And then I have one over here. So I can't wait. My rose still looks pretty decent. Got a lot of new growth on it. I was going to deadhead it, but I think I'll just let it go. Black-eyed Susans are starting to get some flower heads. I don't know how this is going to do this year. I had a lot of bug damage on this one, so it might not be as great as it has been, which is a shame because I love Black-eyed Susans. They bring such nice, I don't want to say it, fall interest. Ugh, I cringe. Another daylily, Stella d'Oro. Hens and chicks are still doing good because we've been dry. My barberry still has some good color. I had cut back some of that in there. It died. I'm just kind of leaving it for now. This is another type of bee balm that I have. This is a bright pink. It's just kind of coming to an end here. Everything loves this. And then in back, this is a taller version too, so it works. A purple. I love bee balm. I know it gets the powdery mildew, but they're just bring a lot of beneficial insects and butterflies. And they spread too, so I like that. It helps fill in a garden. So when, try not to turn too fast to make you dizzy. So when this pool is not here, and I won't be putting it up next year, I will put my foot down on that. I would be putting a lot of spreaders like Shasta daisies, bee balm, black-eyed Susan, really aggressive growers, just to help fill in. My sedum looks good. I hope it doesn't flop this year. I was going to cut this back and I completely forgot. This is another daylily. I don't know the name of this one, but it has a beautiful scent. I just can't stop. And there is a bee inside there, just happy. But yeah, I was filling my bird bath, and I'm like, what is that? I did not realize daylilies have scents to them. I love that bright yellow. Because my primrose is done. I have a stray little bud right there. It's all alone. I'm not sure if I have anything nesting in that birdhouse back there. Let's see. At least my turtle head still looks good. That is a late bloomer. You'll see back there I have some hostas. This is a really nice one. I don't know if it's golden tiara, but my primrose is kind of taken over. I'm thinking I'm going to end up pulling some here just because it really did take over my hostas. You can see I have slug damage. So yes, I do get slug damage even though it's been dry. There's some varieties I like better than others. Like this one here, not so much, but you can see it's kind of puckered and thicker. And then where you see damage, I had hail one time, so I'm sure that's what that is. This is absolutely probably one of my favorite small ones. Just that coloring. It's got kind of a glossy texture to it too. I think this is Maui Buttercup. It gets more sun here, so definitely yellower, which is pretty. I love the flower heads on these because they're smaller and they're a little thicker. They're not quite so tall and gangly. Then I like the purple ones back there, so I kind of pick and choose what I cut off. Or what I can get to, I should say. My stilby here is getting close. You can see just the tips have a little fuzziness to them, but I'll leave them. Again, more slug damage. I was going to try eggshells this year. I had a lot of them saved up, but they just got so full. I got to do that earlier in the season. And I was thinking about using coffee grounds, anything natural. T-Rex. What a brute. But look at that puckering on there. Again, no slug damage at all. That one is amazing, and I'm not sure what I want to do because you can see once I move this, it's covering up a lot of hostas in there. Not that they mind because they're like, yay, shade, but I can't see them. My lungwort finally is getting its big leaves. I might end up moving this at some point because this is tending to get a little crowded in here. Allium, they're starting to flower. I'm not sure what I want. I will probably move it. I'm not going to get rid of it just because this attracts pollinators too. And I love the smell of onion. And it does well here with, I wish to say this is partial shade. So it holds its own amongst all of these hostas, and I think I'll have to make note of what to move for next year. This is a later bloom, and it'll still be one of my bigger ones. Not quite as big as last year, and I want to say it's just because of the lack of rain. I don't have a drip irrigation system just because I have some really aggressive trees. And usually where I have the drip irrigation, that's where all my tree roots start coming up. I don't want that. But I don't know. To water all this by hand will take forever. I just kind of do area, just stagger it one at a time. Lady's mantle, I cut that all off. All the flower heads. Kind of miss it, but it was kind of flopping. My humillo, I had a lot of bug damage on the leaves, but it did not affect the blooms. So, nice purple color. These daylilies are coming to an end. They were absolutely gorgeous yesterday, of course, but all of the blooms, of course, they only last a day. And this purple flower, I don't know if it's a bellflower. I'm not sure. I leave it. I know it's aggressive, but right next door I have lily of the valley. So I'm kind of growing a lot of aggressive plants. And it's pretty. I have to get in there somehow to cut all of those flower heads. That is just, I'm trying to figure out how. I had stepping stones amongst the lily of the valley, but I think I'll just have to step in. Let's face it, I'm sure the lily of the valley will not mind. And then back there, the Japanese golden spikenard. That is such a pretty color, and it's done really great this year amongst some ornamental grass. I had grass planted back here behind the Empress Wu. I think it got taken over. If it comes back next year, I'll have to move that one. That right there, that big thing, that's a tree root I have to get in and cut. And I'd like to get those flowers. Those are the ones that I don't care for. The ones that get really tall, lanky, floppy, they just seem to, I don't know, just too much. I have to water this one again, my hostas, coleus. I have to get in here and cut that one that kind of bent. I don't know if it bent, honestly. What the heck? Something's pulling out the stakes. That one went with this one over here, so something really pulled out the stake. I'm going to blame squirrels, because I see a ton of them. But we'll see how my coleus does this year. I've never done this before. I just thought I'd put a little something here to kind of fill in a little bit, but not sure how I'm liking it. I do like the color. The earwigs are leaving it alone. I really like the curly leaf. That's kind of cool. This one is doing amazing, the World Cup hosta. That is a lot of growth in there, so I bet that is going to be an aggressive grower. Lots of watering in this garden. Kind of give you a shot from here. Hopefully the sun doesn't affect it too much. I think I have a bird nesting in this one way over here. I saw something flying it the other day. I think they like the spot because it has the pine tree to go in and out of, and really shaded over here, nice and cool, versus the one over there. Alright, take you over here real quick. Hopefully this isn't too long. I don't have a lot blooming, but the front gardens are just pretty much the same. I don't have many bloomers in there. I'll just kind of give a quick pan. Snow on the Mountain looks pretty good. Japanese spikenard in there. And of course there's that one. I have to cut all of those flower heads. It's just been a little hot and buggy. I had to cut all these flower heads off. Really nice color to that hosta there. I think I'm going to be cutting that back now. It looks pretty raggy, and then I'll be moving that pot in front of it. Maybe we'll see what works. I got a couple pots. And then Trevor, I had planted those, the elephant ear bulbs, and they weren't doing anything, and they were getting broken off, and I just felt bad. They had a little bit of a root system, so I took them out and I planted them here. So I have one right there, and then I have one coming up over here. And then I have another leaf coming up, see? I'm absolutely surprised because this is not as wet as what they would like. I've been watering them a little bit, not as much as I should. Look at the color variation on that. That is so neat. Okay. I think this is getting a little bit lengthy. I'll make it quick because I got to do an update on my pots. Variegated comfrey. This is the color it's supposed to be. I probably should cut it down, but it's looking good. And I'm not sure what I want to do. I'm leaving the flower heads or seed heads on my goat's beard. Still thinking about spraying it. I had some ideas from some viewers, so I'll have to look into that. So thanks for all of your suggestions. That really helps a lot. I love that you answer back. That's so cool. Curly fry hostas, I would say they are so neat. I love how dainty the texture is and everything. It just adds a different interest to foliage. And then another elephant ear that I planted back there. That one is looking really good. A little different. It has a purple stem. Black snakeroot or Simicifuga has flower heads. Oops, I disturbed a bee. Sorry. I hope they bloom. I think they're supposed to have a scent to them. I just love that black purple color amongst all of this here. It just adds a different color of foliage is so good, especially for shade gardening. Sorry, I know I had to be a little bit louder because my air conditioning is running. Let's see here. Alright, so I'm going to be doing a container in my pots, and I'll probably get a few other things in there, and you can see I have a lot of leaves on the ground too from my trees, and what that usually means is they've been stressed out somehow. Sometimes it's way too much rain in a season, or sometimes just dry weather. I can usually tell that there's been some sort of stress due to this tree. That is what it looks like right now. I will keep you updated on some of my other flowers, and hopefully you like this video, and I will talk to you later. Bye.